only communication I had. I don't have a home computer. I didn't have access to equipment because that had all gone from the Parliament, if my recollection is right.
No, but isn't it right that you sought to delete them not just from the device itself, but from the server so that they couldn't be retrieved? Is that right?
Well, they have to go from the server if you delete them. My understanding is that then allows the email process to work on the site that I've got. That's how it was explained to me.
Are you agreeing or disagreeing with the proposition that you sought to delete certain emails with a view to keeping them away from this commission or some other investigative authority?
Oh, well, I can't not agree.
Well, what does that mean? Does that mean you agree?
Well, in part.
Maybe in some other things that affected that decision, but at least one of the factors was with a view to keeping material away from this commission.
The major factor was that damn computer wouldn't work, and for the life of me, I couldn't get it to function, and I sought advice on what the hell I had to do, and that's what I was told I needed to do to be able to receive emails and etc.
At least one factor was with a view to keeping evidence that might implicate you away from this commission or another investigative authority.
I can agree to that.
And that's the case not just with emails, but with things like telephone messages, is that right?
Yes.
Sought to delete telephone messages with a view to keeping them away from this commission or another investigative authority.
Yes, I'd agree.
And was that done in a scorched earth manner, or did you seek to delete particular categories of
I don't know.
emails?
I don't recall that.
Or did you specifically focus, for example, on your emails with Ms. Berejiklian?
No, I don't know that I focused on anything in particular.
Do you agree there was a broader attempt to delete telephone messages from your devices?
I really can't be clear, and I can't be sure of what action I took with regards to that.
Do you ever deliberately destroy or seek to destroy any device with a view to keeping material away from this commission?
I sent devices to the recycler, or devices, etc. Heaven knows what was on them in the clean out.
Well, you referred to a USB stick a little while ago. You say the USB stick was lost, do you, rather than...
At the gate.
Accidentally lost rather than deliberately lost?
That's my recollection.
Did any of your devices have a unfortunate incident in a paddock?
No.
Did you ever tell anyone that any of your devices had an unfortunate incident in a paddock?
Yes, there was an iPad, I think, I referred to. But Mr. Granger seized that iPad, if my recollection is right, when he visited me on whatever day the armed police raided my house.
So do you deny that you ever deliberately lost or destroyed any devices with a view to keeping material away from an investigative authority?
No, I can't deny that.
So what particular devices did you deliberately destroy or lose?
I sent them to the recycler, I think. Old phones and old junk that I had laying around the place. But I clearly recalled the iPad because Mr. Granger seized that iPad, a couple of phones, and returned the iPad, if I recall rightly, about 2 or 3 days later. I think that's correct.
What did you tell Ms. Wang, for example, that certain one or more phones and or one or more tablets were the subject of an unfortunate incident?
Yes, I did, but...
and what were you there referring to then?
Well, I don't know that I was referring to an iPad because Mr. Granger had the iPad, or it depends what date I said that, but Mr. Granger had the iPad.
But you're at least referring to some electronic device that had some data on it, is that right?
I would have been, yes.
And what was the unfortunate incident in the paddock you're referring to?
Oh, I recall I said a tractor ran over it.
Is that right? So what
no,
happened?
I don't think the tractor ran over it.
Why did you say? Why did you use that phrase?
Just being stupid. I don't know why I said it.
Well, what happened to the particular device or devices you were referring to in that phrase?
Mr. Granger seized that iPad I was referring to. It's my best recollection.
Well, what was the unfortunate incident you're referring to?
I don't know. I don't recall.
It's just a bit of a strange thing to say.
Yes, it is. It's a weird thing to say, but I said it.
You're trying to fortify your request to Ms. Wang to destroy material by telling her, in effect, that you'd done the same?
That could be the reason, Commissioner. Yes, I could agree with that.
Can we go back to the USB stick? And can we go to Exhibit 277, which was the document we started on, but then we were diverted? Do you recall ever asking Ms. Vasey or anyone else from your electorate office to obtain copy of data from your devices in advance of you appearing before this commission on the 13th of July 2018?
No, I don't clearly recall that. 2018.
Do you recall asking Ms. Vasey or anyone else to ensure that the person who was taking the data signed a confidentiality undertaking, or at least it was made clear to them that they should produce such a document?
Yes, I recall that.
So I'll put Exhibit 277 on the screen. You see there a letter for you to sign. Dear Greg, thank you for your assistance with IT support this morning. Just to note that all information gathered from your exportation of data is intellectual property of Darryl Maguire MP and not to be shared with any persons. Just see that there?
Yes, I recall that.
And so you requested that a letter of this kind be prepared, is that right?
Yes.
If you have a look at the date, 9 July 2018, just see that there? The bottom right-hand corner?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection that the request to obtain an exportation of data was done in advance of your attendance before this commission on the 13th of July 2018?
Yes.
And so is that what procured the existence of the USB stick that you referred to before? In other words, the USB stick contained an exportation of data, at least as you understood it, from your devices in advance of your attendance here in July 2018?
Yes.
In that particular USB, what instructions did you give as to who should retain it?
I think Miss Vasey retained it.
It was the object of exporting the data from your, I think, your telephone, or more than one telephone. Was it more than one telephone?
I don't know.
The object was it not to delete all data from that device in case the device was seized when you appeared before this commission on the 13th of July?
Yes, I'd agree, Commissioner.
Do you agree that you told Ms. Vasey that she should attend to this matter of the exportation of your data discreetly?
Yes, I'd agree to that.
And did you make it clear to her that she should, at least until further instruction, maintain physical possession of that USB stick?
Yeah, I think I asked her to do that. Yes, I'd agree.
Now, was that with a view to you keeping that material, that data, away from investigative authorities like this commission?
I'd agree.
Ms. Vasey ultimately gave you that USB stick back, is that right?
Yes.
And what were the circumstances in which she gave that back to you? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't recall.
But that particular USB stick, the one that we're talking about, that's the one that you say you dropped
at the gate.
In the paddock, at the gate.
At the gate.